Hi everyone. Welcome to English Story School. Have you ever stood at the edge of something great and felt that voice inside you saying, "You're not ready. You're not enough." That voice of doubt that holds you back, even when you know deep down that you were meant for more. What if I told you that the very doubts you feel are the things stopping you from becoming the leader you were born to be? Chapter 1. The Power of Belief. Let me take you to a moment in my life when everything seemed to hang in a balance. It was a rainy day, and the sky was heavy with clouds, as if the world itself understood the weight of what I was about to do. I was standing in front of a large crowd, preparing to give my first major presentation. The room was filled with faces, some familiar, some not, and each one seemed to be watching me, waiting for me to speak. The pressure of the moment was suffocating, and my hands were shaking. My heart was pounding so loudly I could almost hear it echoing in my chest. I could feel the sweat on my palms, the knot in my stomach tightening with each passing second. The doubt? It was overwhelming. It was like a dark cloud hovering above me, threatening to consume every ounce of confidence I had left. What if I mess up? What if I forget my words? What if they don't believe in me? Those thoughts spun in my mind, faster and faster, like a tornado of insecurity. I could almost taste the fear, and I had to fight the urge to turn around and run. The doubt was so loud it drowned out everything else, and for a moment I thought I might lose my nerve. The truth is, I almost walked away. I almost let fear win. The idea of facing the crowd, of standing there and trying to speak with confidence, felt like an impossible task. The fear of judgment, the fear of failure, the fear of falling short, all of it felt like it was crushing me. But then, in the middle of that storm, something unexpected happened. Something inside me clicked. I took a deep breath and forced myself to look around the room. I needed to ground myself, to find something solid in the chaos of my mind. And then I saw it. A person in the crowd, someone I didn't know, looking directly at me with an expression of expectation. Their gaze wasn't judgmental, nor was it impatient. It was full of hope, full of belief. In that moment, it was like that one look from that stranger was a spark, lighting a fire inside me. It reminded me that someone in this room believed in me, and that belief, however small it seemed, had the power to turn everything around. In that split second, I remembered a quote that had always stuck with me. Even in the toughest moments, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. It was a simple truth, but in that moment, it became more real than ever. I had spent so much time letting doubt control my actions, questioning my worth, questioning my abilities. I had allowed the voice of self-doubt to dictate my decisions, to keep me stuck in a cycle of inaction. But that quote hit me like a wave, washing over all the fear and uncertainty. I knew then that if I allowed my doubt to win, I'd never be able to lead anyone, not even myself. I wouldn't be able to inspire others if I couldn't first believe in myself. I wouldn't be able to take the risks needed to move forward. In that moment, I understood that leadership wasn't about being perfect. It was about having the courage to take the first step, even when doubt was screaming in your ear. The doubt was not my truth. It was just a lie I had been believing, and I had allowed it to control me for too long. I realized that I had been letting my fear of judgment, of failure, define my actions, and it was time to stop. I couldn't let it paralyze me anymore. I was made for more than that. I was made to lead. I took another deep breath, straightened my shoulders, and walked into that room with a renewed sense of purpose. It wasn't an instant transformation. I didn't suddenly feel fearless, but I felt something stronger than fear: belief. Belief that I had something valuable to offer. Belief that I could face this challenge. Belief that I was capable of stepping into the role I had been given. As I began speaking, the words flowed more easily than I had imagined. The room didn't feel as intimidating anymore. The faces in front of me blurred into something less threatening. I found my rhythm, and with each word I spoke, I felt more confident. I wasn't perfect, and I wasn't trying to be, but I was real. I was authentic, and that in itself was enough. The moment I stepped up, I realized something profound. It's not about being free of doubt. The truth is, doubt will always be there. It's a part of human nature. But it doesn't have to control you. It doesn't have to keep you from stepping forward, from pursuing what you're capable of. The key isn't to eliminate doubt, but to move forward despite it. That was the turning point. I realized that in order to lead, in order to fulfill the potential that was inside me, I had to start by believing in myself. I had to start by rejecting the lies of doubt and embracing the truth of who I was. Someone capable, someone worthy, and someone ready to step into the role I had been given. And that moment, that choice to believe in myself, changed everything. It didn't just change how I presented that day. It changed the way I approached every challenge that came after. It taught me that leadership begins within, with belief. Belief in your own abilities, belief in your purpose, and belief in the truth that doubt is only a temporary visitor, never a permanent resident. Chapter 2. The Battle Within. Doubt is a powerful enemy. It doesn't just show up once and disappear. It doesn't take a break or stay quiet. It lingers, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, often when you least expect it. The more important the task, the louder the doubt becomes. It waits until you're on the verge of a breakthrough. Then it comes rushing in, whispering those same familiar fears. What if you're not good enough? What if you fail? What if everyone is right about you? And that's the thing about doubt. It has a way of making you question everything, including your worth. It's like an invisible weight pressing down on your shoulders, threatening to crush your resolve. And it often shows up at the most critical moments, right when you're about to do something big, right when you're about to take a leap that could change your life forever. In those moments, doubt doesn't let you feel the excitement or the potential of what lies ahead. Instead, it makes you second-guess yourself, convinces you that you're not ready, that you're not equipped for the journey you're about to take. But here's the truth. Leaders aren't born without fear or doubt. If anyone tells you that they're fearless, they're not being honest. Leadership is not the absence of doubt. Leadership is the ability to move forward with the doubt. It's the willingness to choose action, to choose bravery, and to choose the unknown, despite the whispers of fear in your ear. Leaders are born not when they have all the answers, not when everything is perfect, but when they decide to fight through the doubt, to face it head on, and keep going. I remember a time when I faced an even bigger challenge, a moment that made me question everything I knew about myself, about my abilities, and about my future. It was a time when everything was on the line, and the stakes were higher than I could have ever imagined. I was standing at a crossroads, a decision so big it felt like it could shape the entire direction of my life. The pressure was suffocating. I could feel my heart race in my chest, my palms sweat, and my mind spinning in circles. The doubt came flooding in, stronger than ever before. You're not qualified for this. You don't have what it takes. You'll never make it. The voice was relentless, and it had the power to shake me to my core. But deep down, amidst the chaos of my thoughts, I realized something important. The real question I was facing wasn't whether I was ready, but whether I was willing to take that step forward, in spite of the fear. Would I choose to lead, to take charge of my own destiny, or would I choose to listen to the voice of fear, the voice that kept telling me to stay in my comfort zone, to avoid the challenge, to retreat into what was safe? That was the moment when I realized that doubt wasn't a sign of weakness. It wasn't a sign that I wasn't good enough or ready enough. No, that was a sign that I was on the verge of something big. It was the proof that I was pushing myself beyond the limits I had once placed on myself. I thought of this quote by Franklin D. Roosevelt. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. And suddenly it hit me. Doubt wasn't just an obstacle. It was a signal, a sign that I was about to break through to something new. Doubt wasn't the enemy. It was the test. It was the proof that I was stepping into the unknown, taking a risk, and that was where growth happened. In that moment, I made a choice. I chose to destroy the doubt. I chose to stop listening to that voice that had held me back for so long. I chose to trust in myself, in my abilities, and in the journey ahead. I wasn't going to let fear decide my future for me. I wasn't going to let doubt control my decisions any longer. So, I took that step forward. It wasn't easy. It wasn't a smooth, seamless transition. The fear didn't just vanish the moment I decided to act. But I moved anyway. I walked into the unknown, feeling the doubt and the fear with every step, but I kept going. And you know what? The results were beyond anything I could have imagined. The moment I chose to act, to confront the doubt head-on, something shifted. The fear didn't disappear, but it no longer had the power to control me. I realized that the world doesn't wait for you to be ready. Life doesn't give you the perfect circumstances to act. You have to create those circumstances by choosing to act, by choosing to rise in the face of doubt and fear. And when you do that, when you push through the uncertainty, you realize that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is your willingness to face the battle within. That moment of choosing to act, of choosing to lead in spite of the doubt, was the turning point. It was the moment that taught me that the true measure of strength lies not in being fearless, but in being willing to fight through the fear. It taught me that doubt is not a permanent state. It's a temporary challenge that you can overcome with persistence, belief, and action. Chapter 3. Rising Above the Noise. As I continued on my journey, the doubts didn't magically disappear. In fact, they seemed to grow louder with each step I took. The more I committed to pursuing my goals, the more the voices of doubt crept in. At first, they were whispers, small, inconsequential, easy to dismiss. But the further I went, the louder those voices became. And it wasn't just my inner voice of doubt. No, it was the voices of others, people who, for whatever reason, felt the need to remind me of all the ways I might fail. I heard it everywhere. You're not cut out for this. You don't have what it takes. This isn't the right path for you. These words were often said with a sense of concern, with a tone that implied they were just looking out for me. But every time I heard them, they stung. They made me question my worth, my abilities, and my dream. There were times when I let those words sink in a little too deeply. I let them get to me, let them make me second-guess everything I was doing. But here's the key. Doubt is often the voice of others trying to project their own insecurities onto you. It's their fear, not yours. They see you moving forward, and they're reminded of their own limitations, their own fears, their own unfulfilled dreams. And rather than face those feelings, they try to drag you down to their level. It's not about you, it's about them. And as hard as it is to accept, you can't let that noise control you. It's a hard lesson, but one that I learned the hard way. To become a leader, to truly step into your power, you have to rise above the noise. The noise of doubt, the noise of fear, and most importantly, the noise of others who don't believe in you. It's not enough to just ignore the doubt. You have to transcend it. You have to see it for what it is, just noise. I realized something important as I faced these challenges. The noise wasn't going anywhere. People were going to doubt me. The world wasn't going to hand me validation on a silver platter. But if I wanted to move forward, if I wanted to achieve the kind of success I envisioned for myself, I had to stop waiting for everyone's approval. I had to stop listening to the doubts and start listening to my own inner voice. And more than that, I had to start surrounding myself with people who would build me up, not tear me down. That was when I remembered a powerful quote that has stuck with me ever since. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's a simple truth, but it's one that completely changed my perspective. As much as I wanted to prove myself, as much as I wanted to show the world I could succeed on my own, I realized that leadership isn't about isolation. It's about connection. It's about surrounding yourself with those who believe in you, who push you to be better, who see your potential and help you reach it. I understood that rising above the noise didn't mean doing it alone. It meant choosing the right people to be around, the right people who would support and encourage me, who would help me stay focused on my path. I chose to surround myself with people who lifted me higher, who inspire me to keep going when the road got tough, and who helped me lead the way, not just for myself, but for others too. The more I embraced this mindset, the stronger I became. With every doubter I encountered, I chose not to let their words weaken me, but to use them as fuel to keep moving forward. The more people told me I couldn't do it, the more determined I became to prove them wrong, not by fighting against them, but by proving to myself that I was capable. Every time someone doubted me, I used it as fuel. I didn't take it personally. Instead, I let it be the spark that pushed me to take the next step. With every challenge that came my way, I didn't see failure. I saw an opportunity to rise above, to show what I was made of, to lead by example. The power of belief is stronger than any amount of doubt. It's a force that keeps you going even when you feel like you can't. It's a power that comes from within, but it's also strengthened by the people you choose to surround yourself with. The right people will challenge you to rise higher, to break through your limitations, and to believe in the possibility of success. So, as I continued to walk the path I had chosen, I learned how to rise above the noise. The doubt no longer had the power to shake me. The fear didn't control me, and the opinions of others became just background noise. I became more focused, more determined, and more confident in my ability to lead. And I realized that the best way to silence the noise wasn't to argue with it. It was to keep moving forward, to keep showing up, and to keep choosing to rise above it. Chapter 4. Stepping into your purpose. The moment I stopped listening to doubt was the moment I truly began stepping into my purpose. It wasn't some grand realization, nor was it an instant shift. It was more like a gradual awakening, one where I began to understand that purpose isn't something you find when everything is clear, when the road is smooth, or when you have all the answers. No, purpose is found when you choose to lead in the face of doubt. It's about moving forward even when the path is uncertain, even when fear looms over every step you take. The more I embraced this mindset, the more I realized something profound. Purpose isn't about waiting for the perfect circumstances to align. It's not about being free of imperfections or having everything figured out. Purpose is about knowing deep in your core that you are capable of leading, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to face your imperfections and keep moving forward despite them. That shift in perspective changed everything for me. I realized that leadership wasn't about standing above others, about being the one with all the answers or the loudest voice in a room. Leadership was about something deeper. It was about inspiring those around you, lifting them up when they were down, and showing them what was possible. Leadership was about showing people that they too could rise above their doubts, just as I had done. It was about teaching others that their fears and insecurities didn't have to define them. There's a saying that I hold close to my heart. A leader is not the one who stands above everyone else, but the one who lifts others up. This was a revelation. I had always thought leadership was about power, about commanding attention and taking control. But in that moment, I understood that true leadership was about serving others. It was about being the person who could see the potential in others, who could help them see it too. It was about giving people the tools to rise above their own doubts, their own fears. So that's what I did. I chose to become the leader who would lift others up, who would show them that their doubts didn't have to control them. I started to see my role not as the one at the front, leading by force, but as the one walking alongside others, helping them rise as I had risen. It was about walking through the challenges together, pushing through doubt together, and showing up for one another in ways that transcended titles or positions of power. It wasn't always easy. The more I began to step into my purpose, the more I realized that leadership requires more than just belief in yourself. It requires belief in others. It's about seeing the potential in someone else before they see it in themselves. It's about giving them the confidence to step up, to rise, even when they are filled with uncertainty. And this wasn't just about leading groups or projects. This was about leading by example in every aspect of my life. It was about being the person who showed up, who took responsibility, and who pushed forward even when it seemed like the world was against me. I also realized that being a leader isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to learn, to grow, and to admit when you don't know. It's about being open to feedback, to criticism, and to the fact that you don't have all the answers. Leadership, at its core, is about humility and self-awareness. It's about understanding that while you may have strength in one area, you are never alone in your journey. You need others just as much as they need you. As I continued to embrace this mindset of leadership, I began to see the people around me differently. I started to see them as partners in this journey, not as competitors or obstacles. I realized that the strength of the team is just as important as the strength of the individual. The more I focused on lifting others up, the more I realized that true success isn't about how far you go alone. It's about how far you can go together. The moments when I struggled with doubt were no longer moments of weakness. They were opportunities for growth. Every time I faced a challenge, I didn't just see it as something I had to push through alone. I saw it as an opportunity to lead by example, to show others that the struggle is a part of the process, but it doesn't have to define us. We can choose to rise above it. We can choose to be stronger together. And that's when I understood that leadership isn't just about achieving success on your own. It's about creating an environment where others can succeed too. It's about empowering those around you to believe in themselves, to step into their own potential. When you lead from a place of authenticity and service, you create a ripple effect, a culture of growth, of confidence, and a belief that spreads far beyond you. Every step I took in embracing this mindset brought me closer to my true purpose. And the more I helped others see their own potential, the more I realized that this was the path I was meant to walk. This wasn't just about me. It was about all of us. Leadership is not a title. It's a choice. It's a daily decision to rise above doubt, to push forward despite the fear, and to lift others up in the process. It's about embracing the imperfections, not as obstacles, but as the very things that make us human, and then helping others do the same. Chapter 5. The Power of Leadership. At the end of the day, leadership isn't about titles. It's not about the position you hold or the accolades you collect. It's not about the prestige or the recognition from others. Leadership is about action. It's about the decisions you make when no one is watching, when the pressure is on, and when doubt is lingering just behind every step you take. It's about the courage to rise, even when the world seems to be telling you to shrink back. It's about embracing uncertainty and taking the first step into the unknown, knowing full well that there's no guarantee of success, but doing it anyway because you understand that the potential for greatness is always worth the risk. The real power of leadership comes when you choose to destroy the doubt in your own heart and then help others do the same. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's about leading with integrity, with purpose, and with the understanding that every action you take, every choice you make, shapes the path for those who follow. Leadership is a responsibility to show up for yourself and for others, to be the example of what it means to rise above the noise, above the fear, and to embrace the power within you. The more I walked this path, the more I understood that leadership isn't given, it's earned. It's earned through the small, quiet moments when you choose to face your doubts head-on, to choose courage over fear, to choose action over hesitation. These are the moments that define you. These are the moments that carve out your legacy as a leader. Not the moments of applause or recognition, but the quiet victories that no one sees except you. It wasn't just about making the right decisions. It was about making decisions that reflected the values I wanted to uphold. It was about leading with empathy, with understanding, and with the desire to make a real impact. Leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one who listens, who understands, who lifts others up and makes them feel seen, heard, and valued. I realized that true leadership comes not when you hold a title, but when you have the strength to lead by example, to show others that their doubts don't define them, and that their fears don't have to control their destiny. The true power of leadership lies in the ability to inspire others to believe in themselves, to help them rise above their own doubts and limitations, and to make them see that they are capable of achieving more than they ever imagined. So, I ask you today, will you allow doubt to control your destiny, or will you choose to destroy it and step into the leader you were always meant to be? The world needs leaders who are willing to face the darkness, who are willing to stand in the face of uncertainty and say, I will go first. The world needs leaders who don't just talk about change, but who are brave enough to create it. You see, the power of leadership isn't in the position you hold. It's in the choices you make every single day. It's in the way you rise when everyone else is falling, the way you remain grounded when the world is chaotic, the way you help others stand tall when they can't find the strength on their own. Leadership is about taking responsibility, not just for your own success, but for the success of those around you. It's about creating a ripple effect of confidence, of belief, and of growth that extends far beyond yourself. There's a truth that I now understand fully. You were born to lead, not to follow. These words are not just a call to action. They're a reminder that you have within you the potential to lead, to inspire, and to make an impact. You weren't put on this earth to sit back and wait for someone else to lead you. You were born to take charge of your own destiny and to help others take charge of theirs. It's time to stop doubting yourself. It's time to stop letting fear and uncertainty hold you back. It's time to start leading with the confidence, strength, and clarity that you deserve. It's time to step into the leader you were always meant to be. You already have everything inside you that you need. The only thing standing between you and your purpose is your willingness to take that first step, to fight through the doubt, and to keep going even when the path seems unclear. Leadership is a journey, and every day is an opportunity to choose to rise above the fear, the doubt, and the uncertainty. It's about choosing to be the best version of yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to fight for it. Every time you choose to lead, you are not just creating success for yourself. You're creating success for those around you. You're showing them what's possible when you stop letting doubt define you. With that said, thanks for watching and taking this journey with me. Until next time, remember, the true power of leadership lies in your ability to choose victory every day. The The world is waiting for you to step up, to rise above the noise, and to lead with the confidence and purpose you were always meant to embrace.